Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on what is honestly one of the greatest intellectual mysteries in human history. We're taking a deep, documentary-style look into the origins of a mathematical milestone that completely reshaped our world. I mean, it's a wild story. We're talking ancient temples, lost artifacts, and a surprisingly fierce competition that spans thousands of years. So, where exactly is the birthplace of nothing? I know, it sounds like a philosophical riddle, right? But we mean it quite literally. The concept of nothing, and specifically the mathematical number zero, didn't just fall out of the sky one day. It had to be invented, or maybe discovered, by human minds. And tracking down the exact origin of this concept is a historical puzzle that has captivated scholars for absolute centuries. And what we're exploring today is definitely not some dry recounting of dates and dust. Nope. This explainer is going to take you through a gripping historical detective mystery. As you'll see from our source material today, the search for the world's oldest zero is just packed with insane plot twists, dramatic disappearances, stunning rediscoveries, and ancient artifacts hidden right in plain sight. Section 1. The Quest for Nothingness, the concept that changed math forever. Okay, let's dive into this. To really understand this quest, we have to look at what early humans were grappling with before zero officially existed. Making the jump from having absolutely no zero to conceptualizing shunya is arguably one of the greatest leaps in human logic. Before this, doing complex math was just incredibly clunky and cumbersome. But in India, mathematicians introduced this specific circular symbol to represent shunya, or nothingness. It completely transformed mathematics. Suddenly, calculations became infinitely easier and so much clearer. It was literally the spark that eventually made modern engineering, computing, and physics possible. Section 2. Concept versus symbol. Who really invented nothing? This is where the historical debate gets truly fascinating. Because, understanding emptiness is one thing, but actually making it functional, that's a whole different ballgame. Ancient cultures definitely had an understanding of nothingness. The Babylonians used a specific marker in their counting, and the ancient Chinese simply used a blank space to represent nothing. But the vital leap happened in India. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. They didn't just leave a blank space. They invented a distinct functional symbol, the circle, to represent zero as an actual working mathematical value. It's the difference between just acknowledging a void and capturing it on paper to use as a tool. Section 3. The Gwalior Zero, the original champion of nothingness. To find this original champion, we have to travel to the Elephant Gate of the majestic Gwalior Fort in India, specifically to the Chaturbhuj Temple. It's this beautiful structure dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the reality of this world-altering discovery is actually incredibly mundane. Carved into an ancient plaque dating back to 875 CE, you're not going to find some grand equation unlocking the secrets of the cosmos. Instead, you find agricultural and administrative records. The zero is just casually hidden inside everyday measurements. The inscription outlines a land grant of 270 hustas, which was a unit of measure for a flower garden, and a daily grant of 50 flower garlands. And right there, right in the numbers 270 and 50, sits the clear circular symbol for zero. For a really long time, this Gwalior inscription held an undisputed heavyweight title. It was revered as the oldest known inscription of zero in India, and perhaps the second oldest in the entire world. And because of this reputation, math enthusiasts and historians from across the globe have flocked to this modest temple for years. They treat it like a literal pilgrimage site just to lay their eyes on this ancient circular etching right there in the stone. Section 4. The Cambodian Plot Twist, a shocking discovery in 1931. So the history of mathematics was about to get completely rewritten. Up until 1931, the Gwalior Zero was sitting super comfortably on its throne. But then, a French archaeologist named Georges Codez was working out of the ruins of a 7th century temple in a place called Sambor, Cambodia. He managed to decipher an ancient plaque found in those ruins. The date on that plaque? 683 CE. And yep, right there on the stone was a zero. 192. So the crucial point is, the Cambodian plaque from Sambor predated the beloved Gwalior Zero by almost 2 full centuries. That is a massive 192-year gap. In the archaeological and mathematical communities, this was an absolute earthquake. Gwalior was instantly dethroned, and the Cambodian Zero became the new world champion of nothingness. Section 5.
The ultimate mathematical victor, disappearances and rediscoveries.
Hold on tight, because the modern history of these artifacts is an absolute roller coaster. Let's move to and see how this builds on the timeline. In 1931, the Cambodian Zero is found and housed in the Cambodian National Museum. But then, tragedy strikes. During the brutal Khmer Rouge years, this priceless artifact completely vanishes, just gone. And because it was lost, the Gwalior Zero actually regained its title by default for decades. Then, we get a stunning twist. In January 2017, the Cambodian National Museum miraculously found their missing Zero and announced it would return to public display. Gwalior was relegated to second place once again. But wait, just months later, in October 2017, in a breathtaking double twist that very same year, researchers analyzing the ancient Indian Bakhshali Manuscript definitively dated its origins, and it blew both Cambodia and Gwalior out of the water. Just incredible. Both of our previous champions lost the title to this manuscript, which now officially wears the crown as the world's absolute oldest recorded Zero. Yet this story ends on a really poignant documentary-style note regarding our original champion. Today, the Cambodian Zero rightfully gets its share of fame, press, and museum protection. But what about the Gwalior Zero, the artifact that held the title for so long? Despite thousands of people visiting the majestic Gwalior Fort every single year, most are completely oblivious to the Chaturbhuj Temple. This monumental piece of human intellectual history is just tucked away, literally crumbling near a local parking lot, largely unnoticed by the tourists passing right by it.
It leaves us with a heavy, vital thought to ponder. If we let the very foundations of mathematics crumble by a parking lot, what else are we forgetting? Thank you for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep looking closer at the world around you, and I'll catch you next time.